For the past 9 years, there's been a familiar voice on the radio. Our own Don Shelby has been hosting a show at WCCO-AM before coming on the TV airwaves in the evening. This week, however, he's signing off. First, a look at the show and what it's meant to Don, his colleagues, and his listeners.
It's 1:10. This is Don Shelby on WCCO News Radio 830.
Listeners never know what to expect when they tune their dials to the Don Shelby Show.
I want to talk about poop a little bit today.
But they do know they can always expect to learn something they probably didn't know before. That's because Don never takes a break, and on radio, it really shows.
So you basically compost the poop. How long do you have to compost it?
He's a very curious human being who goes out of his way to find out things about this planet he lives on.
Jeff McKinney is a newsman who found himself paired up with Shelby at WCCO-AM 9 years ago. McKinney delivers the McSkinny on, well, anything and everything.
I'm just so sad that you two are breaking apart.
Well,
we're breaking up. You can phrase it that way.
This is a bromance, and it's coming to an end.
The two never plan what they're going to talk about.
In the great tradition of James Joyce, it's almost stream of consciousness in there. I mean, one thing leads to another.
And things usually lead to the fact that both of these guys are really smart.
Now, Shelby comes under fire constantly from me and from others for being a know-it-all. But when you really get to know Shelby, yes, he is a know-it-all.
Because there's no way anyone has a brain that big. There's absolutely no way.
Wendy Paulson is the program director at WCCO-AM. She says the staff is really going to miss Shelby.
Arby time.
He's always bringing in food for everybody in the newsroom. Totally lights up the room. He's so much fun, so we love it when he comes over to radio.
Radio, after all, is where Shelby got his start. Back in 1968, when he was with the Air Force, Don was the voice before he became the face. But he will always be the reporter and storyteller who really loves what he's doing.
He was very passionate about radio. Whether he was informing, it was always entertaining, it was always on Shelby's terms.
But the reason he's such a great raconteur and such a great conversationalist on the air is he reads a lot.
WCCO Radio has not announced who will replace Don on the air. McKinney says he's not sure anyone can fill Don's shoes or suits.
Shelby is a man of ideas. He is a spiritual descendant of Ben Franklin. He's very curious about everything, from lightning to politics. Shelby wants to know all about it. His differences, though, the differences between him and Ben Franklin, Shelby is much more luxuriously dressed than Ben Franklin ever was.
Well, between buying the suits and buying meals for the CCO radio and CCO newsroom, you're going to have to get another radio job. No. Well, you know what, Don, and I know this, that you told me that when you left for college, the day you left for college, his mother asked him what you're going to be. So you didn't tell me this part. What did you tell her?
I said, I'm going to be a major market drive time radio personality. She went, good luck with that. But 44 years is how long it took me to get that gig.
She wasn't alive then when you got the radio gig, nope. Right? But she knew you were on TV, right?
Yeah. I wish she'd have seen this.
Well, I'm sure she was very proud of you.
The circle would have been closed then.
Yeah. Well, are you going to miss it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people are going to miss you.
I'm going to miss the people who listened.
Yeah, well, we have a couple more days to catch you on there, and you can always catch you here. Our friend Don Shelby ended his 9 years on WCCO Radio this afternoon.
His last show included a proclamation from the governor, a special song, and a letter from his wife, who wants folks to know the real Don.
And because she's a person who's very private, she does not want to be on radio. She said, I'll write a letter, and Michelle's going to read that letter.
Don is a man who spends a great many of his weekends donating his time to raise funds for charities, from the Ronald McDonald House to help sick children and their families, to wildlife conservation, from veterans to Native American communities, and more. He's a man who will make a 5-hour drive to the Red Lake Indian Reservation to honor an invitation and make the 5-hour drive back the same day so he can see his grandchildren. People make jabs about Don being a know-it-all. The truth is, he does know it all.
Your buddy busy you.
Well, that song's never meant so much to me. Jimmy Erickson picked that out and surprised us with that one. I'll see you on television. I hope you watch. I got one more year. And if I know me, I'm going to try to go out swinging.
Oh, yeah. Don also took calls on his last show from everyone from Pat Miles to Senator Al Franken, all, of course, wishing him well.